this computer. Yes, because there are other people that wanted the replay. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I'd make it on time or not.
I
So
know, I know. And it's hard. 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night's really hard, but for us working women, um, 2 in the
the
afternoon,
only way to do it.
not doable. So undoable. That's not really a word, but it's not doable. So I tried to pick a time, actually asked ChatGPT, like, what is the best time for the working woman? Of course, working woman with small children, 7 p.m. is not good either. And I get that. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about what we're here to talk about. So reset versus restart. So that's kind of what this class is all about. So the average, I wrote some things down. You may not be able to see them, but the
I can.
average woman goes on 126 diets in her lifetime.
I believe it.
And so that means we know how to start over. Women know how to start over. So what we want to do though is kind of like when our just recently we had to purchase a new washing machine. And the reason we had to purchase a new washing machine is because it kept getting stuck in the spin cycle, but the clothes weren't spun out. And so it would spin and spin and spin and spin and spin, but nothing happened. And so what we needed to do was reset the machine. Well, we couldn't, it was broken. But that's what the machine needed. It needed to be reset. And that's what we want to do with our bodies. Because once we reach the age of 40 and beyond, the old traditional ways of dieting and exercising and cutting calories and moving more just doesn't work for our metabolism. And part of the reason why it doesn't work for our metabolism anymore is because of the way we've dieted chronically and we've mistreated our metabolism. I've done that. You've probably done that, Pam. We've all done that. And so, but when we are in that chronic cycle of dieting, we teach our metabolism how to act. And so it gets stuck in like a spin cycle. And it works and works and works, but it doesn't wring the clothes out. And so you feel like you're doing all the right things, but the weight doesn't come off. And we give it about the average time we give a diet to work is about 10 days. And so we go hard. I mean, you know that to be true, right? Yeah, you know it to be true. Like 2 weeks is way too long. No results in 10 days, I'm out of here. So the average woman gives a diet about 10 days, except for first of the year, New Year's, and we will give it 26. But on average, women give a new diet about 10 days to work. And when it doesn't work, we start over on Monday and we try something else. And then we'll give it about 10 days and we'll start over on Monday. And then we'll give ourselves a break because we're just tired. And we're like, it'll just be the way it is. And then something will happen. There'll be a wedding coming up, or there'll be an anniversary coming up, or we'll go to put on our pants and they won't button. And you're like, oh, I'm starting all over. And we do it all over again. And so that's what we're here to fix. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why that happens and how we can fix it. So my method is called the reset over restart. And it is the mindset shift to end diet cycles forever. And so I'm Jill. I'm your host. Y'all know me, but that's who I am. And I've been a nurse for 25 years. And so that's first and foremost what I do. And then I've been a certified personal trainer and a certified nutrition coach for the last 4 years. And so over my course of nursing, what I've watched women. Hey, Sherry. Hi. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to put this. Yeah. Or I can do that. What I've watched women do is we just get sicker and sicker. And we, over the course of decades, put on a little bit of weight here and a little bit of weight here and a little bit of weight here. And then it tips us. And it may not be that you've got 50 pounds to lose. It may just be that you need to lose 20 to be at your very best. But it's not just the weight that we gain. When we gain weight, our body starts producing hormone signals that won't allow us to lose the weight. When we gain weight, those fat cells, those adipose cells actually produce estrogen, which impedes us from losing the weight. So not only have we gained the weight, but now our body is literally fighting against us to lose it. So it's really, you think it's your fault that you're just not doing enough, but you kind of reach a tipping point where the old stuff doesn't work anymore. The slim fast of years past doesn't work anymore. The liquid diets that used to work don't work anymore. I mean, I've done all of those. I've also done where I've gone to CrossFit for 5 years and nothing about my body changed. Like, I got stronger, but nothing changed about my body, and I still had fat around my belly. I mean, so but at some point you reach a tipping point where your body's just working against you. And so we have got to remedy that, and we can fix our metabolism. So now I specifically work with women over 40 because women over 40 have hormonal changes and needs that require a certain approach. And so that's what I'm here for. And I'm here to help you try something before you make the switch to some sort of medication. And I'm not saying that that's not needed in our population, particularly in Mississippi. I watch my clients, I watch my patients come in every day. There are some patients that need that medication, but I will tell you on average, the weight loss I see in my program is the same or better than the weight loss you get on average with the injections. Over the time frame, it's the same. So I have two clients that have been with me for about 4 months. They've both lost 50 pounds. The average weight loss of an injection is 1 to 2 pounds per week. So that's 4 to 8 pounds per month. And so when you look at it that way, it's not the miracle. It's still a slow and steady process, except for with the injections. And what I see as a nurse is there are tons of side effects. And so if we can keep you away from those, and it's honestly, everybody is on them. Everybody. If you see somebody, you're like, oh, you look so good, you lost 20 pounds, they're probably on the injection. So even people that don't have any business being on them. So
Right.
absolutely. So I do want you to know that the real problem is not you. It's the cycle that you've set your body up for. It's the cycle that we as a society have helped set you up for. It's called the restart cycle. It's guilt and shame and start over Monday. And when we do that consistently over and over and over, it triggers a cortisol release that increases that cortisol response, and that increases the stress hormones in our body, and that keeps you stuck in that cycle. And the solution is really simple, y'all, but it solves a complex problem. For instance, today is Wednesday. And let's just say that on Monday, you started one of those 126 diets that the average woman goes on in her lifetime. So on Monday, you started a diet and you felt like $1,000,000. You're like, I'm doing this thing. I'm getting this off. So that's Monday. And then Tuesday, you packed your lunch, you ate at work, you took a walk around the block. It was an amazing day. You got up, you worked out early, all the things. And then Wednesday came and you were feeling so good that you spent a little bit of extra time in the bathroom getting your hair and makeup done, and you realized you were running behind. And so you hopped in the car and you drove to work. And on your way to work, your car automatically pulled in the Chick-fil-A, and your car automatically ordered your order, which is the egg white grill and the delicious like tater tot things and the large Diet Coke, and you ate it. And before you could even think about it, you realize, oh, I just ate that, and none of that is on my diet plan. Like, I started a new diet on Monday. And immediately you say, well, gosh, I just blew that. What a waste of time. I'm a loser. I can't stick to anything. I just started a diet on Monday. And here I am on Wednesday, and I've blown my diet. And so I guess I'm going to just have to start back over on Monday. And The problem with that is that now you've lost your chance to eat a good lunch. You've lost your chance to do good on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You've decided that that one meal that you ate on Wednesday, that automatic Chick-fil-A order that you've been eating for years, that that has ruined this whole diet, and you're just going to throw it away. And that is actually one of the things we see that can cause an action is that thought. That I'm a loser thought. I'll never get this right thought. I can't stick to a diet thought. When you think that thought, that actually causes your action to be that you give up. And then the result of that is that you're not successful on your lifestyle change. And so that keeps you stuck in that cycle. And so we've let that one meal on Wednesday make that decision that we're not going to be successful on this lifestyle change for the rest of it. And so Monday, we're motivated. And then through Tuesday, we're doing pretty good. Wednesday, we got tired. Friday, we got busy. Saturday, we said, forget it. And we'll just start over on Monday. And so the I've messed up, the I'll start fresh Monday. Next time will be a perfect time. I'm not I'm not really not ready to make a lifestyle change. I hear that a lot. Like, this is just not a good time for me. I'm really busy. I'm not in good space. My kids are busy, all those things. But the thing is that life is never going to be perfect. And so there's not a perfect time. But we all go to the doctor once a year, and we all see those numbers once a year. And what I don't want is for the next time you go to the doctor, it to be the same or worse numbers than the year before. And if for no other reason than to make those numbers better so that you can be your very best, regardless of what size you wear, I want you to feel your very best and be your very best, then now's the perfect time. So that's why I developed the 5-step reset method. And so we're going to talk about that and how it's going to get you out of this cycle. And so it's the 5 R's. And I have all of this written down to send you when all of this is over. And so the 5 R's, I'm going to erase our timeline. The 5 R's are retrieve, reframe, reset, remove, and remind. Okay, so I'm just curious, just put a 1 in the chat if you can see the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever given up on a diet by Wednesday. If you started it on Monday and I'm going to stick a 1 in there. I for sure, especially a keto diet. I've definitely given up on a keto diet by Wednesday because I needed like a cracker or something. Yeah, it did not make it. I did not make it on a keto diet, which is good news because that's not what I'll ever teach you. But so yes, I've given up on a diet by Wednesday many times, many times. So let's talk about what step 1 is retrieve. So retrieve the thought. So what we're really doing is narrowing in on how our thoughts affect our actions and how our actions affect our results. So when you hear yourself say, I'll never be able to be successful at this, I always mess up, I'm not motivated, I'm not self-disciplined. When you hear yourself say those things to yourself, what I want you to do is recognize how you're talking to yourself. I always say you should not talk to yourself in a way that you would not talk to your best friend. Like if you would look at your best friend and say, you are such a loser because you can't stick with this, then I guess you could talk to yourself like that. But I honestly don't believe you talk to your best friend that way. So we want to retrieve that thought and recognize that we're not being productive with that. So we retrieve that thought and we recognize it. And it may be even something like, I'm not a journaler, but that might even be like something you could like write down and be like, why do I do this? Why does this always come up? Is there a pattern here? Is there a reason why I talk to myself like this? Because I honestly believe that when you're aware of this, you can stop it. And it really is the first step. It really is the first step in breaking the cycle because we know for fact that your thoughts determine your actions and your results. And so if your thought is, I can't do this, or I'm not going to be able to stick to this, or I'm a loser, then that's what your actions, that's going to cause you to act a certain way. And those actions are going to retrieve, your actions are going to give you an actual result. And that result is going to be it's going to be directly related to that thought. And so your thoughts really do determine your results. And so, there's all this stuff out there about positive mindset and all that. And yes, I think that we should be positive. I do believe in that, but I more so believe that this is real. And I've seen it in my own life. So I know a thought is something you can change. And if a thought directly impacts your results, then we can change results too. And so the next thing we do after we retrieve the thought is we reframe it. So instead of saying, I'll never stick to this, instead, we can say, I'll eat healthy the next meal. I am not going to sit here and preach like I don't go through Chick-fil-A and get an egg white grill and some tater tots with a large Diet Coke. I would never pretend that that's not the case. However, I know how I should be fueling my body. And so I know that those things actually do fit in my day if I make them work that way. And so I'll never be able to stick to this is changed to I'll eat healthy the next meal. So I won't eat out again that day. I won't drive through McDonald's for lunch if I did that for breakfast because I'll eat healthy the next meal. So the next meal, I'm going to seek out something that I know is a better choice for me. And see, your entire day is not ruined. In fact, your entire diet is not ruined. It was one choice, which does not mean you're a failure, and it's not the whole story. So we have to learn to be kind to ourselves instead of critical, and then that will help us change this result. And so after we retrieve the thought and we reframe it, then we're going to reset with the next decision. So we can ask ourselves, like, what's one small thing that I could do right now? So let's just say you drove through, you had the Chick-fil-A, and now you're feeling guilty for having it, and you've decided I'll eat healthy the next meal. Well, what's one thing you can do right now? Well, maybe you could drink your water. Maybe you could go for a walk. Maybe you could think through dinner. How's dinner going to look? I know what I'm going to do for lunch. It's going to be a healthier snack. What am I going to do for dinner? How can I get my workout in today? How can I increase my water intake? What can I do today where I can get an extra 2,000 steps? Like that's a next decision that's helpful for you that doesn't keep you stuck in the I'll just start over on Monday. And then we're going to remove. So we've retrieved the thought, we've reframed it with a new thought, we've reset with the next decision, and now we're going to remove the all or nothing thinking. You can't see my screen. There we go. So, oh no, there we go. It's got my ring light on it. So we're going to remove the all or nothing thinking. So a lot of the problems that women have when it comes to being successful in a diet is the I didn't do it perfect, so I'm going to stop. And the thing is about what I teach is you don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. And so I ask you to be consistently consistent 80% of the time. 20% of the time, we eat birthday cake. 20% of the time, we eat ice cream with our kids. 20% of the time, we do all the things. But 80% of the time, I ask you to be consistently consistent because more than that's not possible for a human. None of us can be on point all the time. There's not going to be a time in your life where you're not in a gas station and you're looking for a snack. I mean, it's just that's going to happen. But you can still be successful in weight loss and do that. They're not mutually exclusive. So when we remove the all or nothing thinking, what we do is we accept that life's not perfect and we don't have to be perfect either. And so women are the busiest people on the planet. And so I want you to quit thinking I'm too busy to do it because we're all busy. Um, and I want you to stop thinking busy is the reason I shouldn't do it and start realizing that busy is the real reason why you should do it. It's a must for you because you're busy and because you want to be in excellent health when it comes time to chase those kids all over the country. When it comes time to chase those grandkids all over the country, you want to be feeling so good and your very best so that you can keep up with all of your family, wherever they may be. And so our last piece of the R is remind or repeat. And so I like to say that we reset, we don't restart. And that just reminds me that the next decision I have control over. I don't have to go back to Monday. I don't have to go back and start at the beginning. I've done that. I've restarted over and over and over. And I don't need to do that anymore. But I do need to make a decision next that's best for me. And that is where we reset ourselves. So I'm going to tell you a little story about my little 10-year-old. I can't get my screen. Let's see if I can share my screen. I don't know if I can share it or not. Let's see. Let's see if we can see. Share. Let's see. I can't see it. There she is. There she is. There's my sweet girl. Okay, she's 10. Okay, so the reason let's see if I can blow it up. I can't blow it up. The reason I decided to become a fitness and nutrition coach 4 years ago, 4 years ago, is because 5 years ago, when she was 5, she came home from school. So this is Hallie Grace. And she came home from school and she decided that she wanted to start counting calories because she wanted to be skinny. And so when I asked her about that, she said, you know, all the girls at school have told me that that's how you get skinny. And I need to be skinny. And so I need to start counting calories. And so I knew that she had seen that at home. I knew she had seen me count calories. She may not have known that's what she was seeing, but at that point in my life, I was doing all the diets. So I was doing restrictive diets, I was doing protein shakes, I was doing calorie counting, I was doing all the things. And she likely saw me do that. And so I just politely told her, we're not going to count calories. You don't need to lose weight. But that set off a real fire in me because not only did I need to change things for me because my kids were seeing it in me, I needed to change things so that she never saw it again in our home. And so that's when I became a fitness and nutrition coach. And that's when I started coaching women to first and foremost love their body where they are, where they start. And then when you love your body and you love what your body can do for you, you treat your body better. And so, regardless of where you are right now in your health journey, I want you to love this body that God has given you right here. And then at the very same time, we can work to improve your body to be its very best. But when you don't love your body, you won't treat your body well. And it may not even be a thing that you recognize that you do, but it's decisions that you make and it's choices that you make and whether or not those move you in the right direction. And we find that when we truly love something, we treat it really well. Like we treat our families really well. We give our families all sorts of attention. We give our families the right foods. We give our families the right nutrition. We give our families one-on-one time when they need it. We give our families all the things. But when you don't love your body, you walk past it really quickly in the mirror, you throw on some stretchy pants, and you go about your day, and you're not thoughtful about what you put in it. You're not thoughtful about how you treat it. You're not thoughtful about the movement you get. You're just not as thoughtful when you're not in love with something. And so that's what I coach my women to do is to love their bodies where they are and at the same time make improvements. And so that's been a really helpful way for women to start kind of getting their health journey back where it needs to be. And so what do I teach in my program, my challenges? I teach custom macros, and I help you pair those with movement. Whether you are able to strength train or whether you're only able to walk, whether you're able to run or whether you're only able to do modest kind of band exercises, I teach you how to take where you are right now and make it work with the custom macros that you will receive when you're inside my challenge. So macros are the makeup of your calories, and you may or may not have ever heard of macros, but we won't set macros and talk about macros a ton tonight, but that's what I teach you how to do. So macros is to ensure that you eat the proper ratio of proteins, carbs, and fats for your body. So no longer does a woman need to eat 1,200 calories. Those days are so long gone. But also, you don't need to eat the same amount of calories as somebody else. And somebody else doesn't need to eat the same amount of calories as you do. You're specific, you're unique. And so your goals need to be unique. And your macros need to be unique. And that's something we will set specifically for you when we work together. And so we do custom macros and workouts, and we do that in a group setting. And then we do that one-on-one with me, just like we are right now. And so you can go through all of this and you can reset your mindset. And you can learn to count the macros and you can learn to pair that with the workouts. But truly, what we found to be the most successful for women is when they pair what we teach with accountability, because there's a study out there right now that says that when you implement a specific accountability partner for a specific goal, that you increase your chances of success with that goal to up to 95%. Oh, there you are. I couldn't find anybody, y'all.
Oh no.
All over Darnation looking for you. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm like, where did you think go? Okay. when you add accountability to it, you increase your chances of success to up to 95%. So there's a study out there that says when you speak your goal out loud, so let's just say you called your best friend on the phone and you said, look, my goal is to lose 20 pounds by December the 30th. Okay. You just by saying that out loud to your friend, you've increased your chances of success to up to 65% just by speaking your goal out loud. It's crazy, but it's like you've said it, it's out there in the world, and now for some reason we get after it. But when you add accountability, when you add someone that helps you along the way, like a coach, you increase your chances of success to up to 95%, which is pretty good. So, what we find in my 6 week challenge is that my women lose anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds in 6 weeks. There are some women that, because when we lose fat and we gain muscle, like if you were to lose a pound of fat and you were to gain a pound of muscle, well, then the scale wouldn't change because you've lost a pound, but you gained a pound. However, a pound of fat and a pound of muscle look much different in your clothes. Muscle takes up much less space. Adipose tissue is lobular. It expands into all the spaces. Muscle tissue is tight. And so you can put a lot more muscle in a tiny little space. And so some women find that at first their weight doesn't change, but the inches decrease dramatically. And that's because they're losing fat, but they're gaining muscle. And so their clothes fit much looser because they've lost the inches because they're losing the fat. But the scale doesn't necessarily change in the beginning. But we find is the more muscle you gain, the faster the weight loss occurs. I have a client who just texted me the other day. She's lost 60 inches since February. We started working together in February. She's lost 60 inches. But she's only lost 40 pounds. So, but 60 inches is what everybody sees. They can't look at her and say, oh, I can tell you've lost 40 pounds. Yes, they can tell she's lost weight, but they don't say 40 pounds. But they say, gosh, how much weight have you lost? Because of all of the inches. Just for like thinking it through, if you were to lose 2 inches on your waist, that's a dress size in that area. And so it's just something to think about. It's always fun to see women lose a ton of inches because it changes the way you get dressed in the morning. It changes how you feel about your body, even when the scale doesn't necessarily tell you what all you need to do. So ask me any questions. Who has any questions about what I do or what's involved? Pam, do you have any questions?
I guess I'm just curious about the macros and stuff because I don't understand those.
Yeah. Well, that's actually I spend a ton of time teaching you about that. That's the core of what we learn in week 1. So macros are a breakdown of proteins, carbs, and fats. Okay. So let's just say that I prescribed you a total of 1,500 calories. Those calories are broken down into proteins, carbs, and fats. How do we know that? Because 1 gram of a protein is 4 calories, 1 gram of a carbohydrate is 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. Do you see how you would end up with a caloric total at the end of that? Like, let's just say you had 200 carbohydrates to eat. Well, that's 800 calories in carbohydrates. Let's say you had 50 grams of fat to eat. Well, 9 times 50 is 450 calories in fat. And so it works like that. The deal is I do a specific calculator for your height, your weight, and your goals. And we get down to the nitty gritty of exactly what you want the next 6 weeks to look like and kind of what your goals are. And so we'll go by your height and weight, your goals, and then we'll pick kind of what activity level you think you're at right now. Not what you long to be, but what you are right now, because we have to eat for where we are right now. And then we will set your specific macros based on that. And then what happens is when you start fueling your body properly and giving your body the right amount of food, your metabolism increases and you start to burn fat and gain lean muscle at the same time. Over time, when you've gained lean muscle and you've lost fat and your metabolism is burning, we oftentimes have to add more food, even though you've lost weight. Because now that the fire is burning, we have to keep it stoked. And the only way you do that, the only way you keep a fire stoked is by throwing more fuel on it. And so that happens a lot with my clients. We reevaluate at 6 weeks, like where are we? Where do we stand? And there's hunger cues I'll talk to you about. How are you feeling? How are you sleeping? Those sorts of things. And if you're on point, then we move forward for another 6 weeks with those same macros, and we or for 4 weeks, and we reevaluate at the end of that 4 weeks. Anytime you have a hiccup, like for some reason you're not sleeping well, for some reason you're hungry, because you honestly shouldn't be. If you're eating the right amount of food, you shouldn't be hungry. If you're tired for some reason, suddenly tired, you don't have the energy for those walks like you had before, those are all cues to me that you need more food. And so we would work really closely together and increase your caloric intake at that point. And usually what happens after I increase someone's caloric intake is they pick up weight loss again, because that's what their body needed. Their body needed them to have more fuel, because what has happened to us as women is we've prescribed ourselves to these low calorie diets for so long that our metabolism doesn't even know how to act when we give it real food in the right amounts. But when you start eating the right amount of food, your body's really crazy about you. It treats you really, really well. So, but that's what macros are. They are a makeup of your calories. That's where calories come from. So when you look on the back of a box and it has carbohydrates 26, that's the macro breakdown of that serving of food. And the way we count those is in an app, and it's actually very simple. I mean, I encourage you not to eat processed foods, foods that come from a package or a sack, but it does happen. And you can actually scan that package with the app, and the macros will pop right up for you. And so there's no like, we're not calculating. This is not old time Weight Watchers where you're trying to figure out points and all that. This is, it's real food. It's the counting of the macros can be tedious for about that long, and then you catch right onto it. And then it really shows you, like, once you've gotten through lunch, well, I need to eat this much more food before dinner. Like it's so helpful, instead of at the end of the night you're laying in bed and you're like, oh, I forgot I ate that, or I forgot I did this, or and it gives us data. Like if you're not losing weight and I look back at your log and I see where, we've eaten this, or we've done this, or we've done this, or we've done this, we have data to work on. Well, now we know what we can eliminate, or now we know where we can make changes. And the deal with like probably right now, you don't have any data. You just know that what you're doing is not working and you want something to work. And so this is so helpful. It gives us so much information, not only as to what your body needs, but how to move forward with weight loss. So I have a coach myself, and she always says data makes decisions. And it's so true. Like you have the information. It's when you have the information, you can act on it. Besides just saying, like when I would do the keto diet and they would say, don't eat more than 30 carbs. I'm like, well, I think I didn't eat 30 carbs, but I don't know, but I'm hungry. So maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I wish I had more. So, this is so much different than that. And it's live, it's real-time data, so that you're not wondering what's going on. Sherry, do you have any questions? Sherry may not be there. Hey,
No, I don't have, hey, I don't have any questions.
how are you?
I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
glad you came.
Me too.
Me too. There's going to be, so I will post the replay for this. You'll get that in an email. And there's also my 5 R's and my reset over restart method will come to you in a PDF. You'll get that in an email when this is over. There is an opportunity. My 6 week challenge starts Monday. It's the last 6 week challenge that I will run probably before the end of the year. There's going to be some other opportunities to work with me, but not in the 6 week challenge. So Monday is the last one for this year, we think, based on the calendar. And because you signed up for this tonight, and because you're going to get the replay, there's a $60 discount if that's something you want to take advantage of, and you'll see that in the email. And so that's something I'm offering to y'all, and then I'm offering that to past clients of mine so that they get the chance if they want to hop in on the last 6 week round of the year as well. But you'll get all of that information in an email, and then there's also a little button in that email where you just click it. It goes straight to me, and you can ask me any questions there if you have any, and I'm so happy to answer them there, or I'm happy for us to hop on the phone if you need to chat.
Great.
So I
Thank
hope
you.
y'all have the best night.
Thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
your time.
You're
You
so
too.
welcome. Y'all let me know if you need anything.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.